Hey everybody, how are you today? Today we are going to do a body weight routine that involves 9 exercises. We'll do each one for a minute. We'll do 3 rounds. And again, if you are at a point where you can do 1 round, that is fine. You can stop the video from there and scoot to the end to do the stretch part. If you only got 2 rounds in you, that's fine too. Or if you want to do the whole video, that is fine. Just depends on what what kind of time that you have today. If you are in like an office type setting and you can do 1 round, if you squeeze it in, that's great. But do what you can. We're going to get started here. We'll do a little bit of a warm up and we'll get rolling. All right, so just get into a neutral position here. We're going to take our arms and we're just going to bring them side to side. Loosen up our back a little bit. Our lats, open up those fingers too. Warming up our shoulders a bit. Good to have everybody here today. It's easy. Let's do a few more of these. Get those ankles involved too. Warm up the ankles. All right. So from here, let's just put your hands down in front of you. Let's go ahead and squat and reach it up. Let's not do this fast. Really get down deep. Bring it all the way up. Stretch all the way through those arms. Just warming up here. We're going to do this a little bit later in the show, but we'll ratchet it up a little bit later. All right, back to that neutral position. Let's warm up the sides of our legs. So let's come over, do a little shallow squat, bring it back in, go out the other side. Nice and easy. Again, we're just warming up our joints. All right, let's take our hands, bring them up and down, warm up the wrists a little bit. Really accentuate that movement. All right, good. Let's go ahead and do the same thing with the ankles. So go ahead and do some calf raises. Lift those toes up, bring it up. Toes up. Try to keep your body nice and straight, up on the toes. And back to the ankles. Feel that in your calves a little bit. Again, keep it nice and slow. Just doing a little warm up. All right, let's warm up our core a little bit. So go ahead, if you want to put your hands on your hips, you can. But let's just make some big circles with our hips. All right, switch directions. All right, good. Grab a little drink if you need one. We're gonna jump through our program here in about 10 seconds. We're gonna do an ape crawl first. So go ahead and get down, put your hands on the ground. Put your hands off to the side and hop to your hands. Okay. So if you're not able to get all the way down, just get into a squat position and travel sideways. Okay, so do what you can on that. If you can make it all the way down, hands to the side, hop to your hands. All right, this is a full body movement. So you're really working on all of your joints on this one, especially if you got your hands on the ground. All right, we got 25 seconds. All right, nice work. 15 seconds to go. And rest. All right, for this next one, we're going to do inchworms. So you can either keep your feet static or your body static. I'm going to start from the standing position. You're going to bend over, walk out your hands into plank position, and then walk your hands back. If you want to stand all the way up, you can. If you just want to stay in that pike position and go forward and backward, you can. So just take little steps like that. It's going to work your core. Go into that nice flat plank position. If you're having a little bit of trouble with that today, you can just stay in that plank position. Good job. 15 seconds. All right, and rest. All right, all the way up to full standing position. We're going to do a squat and reach. So just like we did for the little warm up at the beginning, and squat down, reach it all the way up. Squat down, reach it all the way up. If you need to increase the level of difficulty, put a little hop into it, speed it up a little bit. So go where it needs to take you today. If you need to add that little hop in there to increase the level of difficulty for yourself, we're all at different fitness levels. Go where you need to go today. All right, we got 10 seconds left. Excellent. All right, next we're going to do leg extensions. So we're going to go down on the ground. Put those hands underneath your tailbone. Stretch out your legs and bring them in. All right, the lower you go, the harder it is. The longer you pause in that all the way out position, the harder it's going to be. It'll increase the level of difficulty. If you're having problems doing that, just don't go out as far. Or you can go up. Up takes a little bit of pressure off, makes it a little bit easier. All right, back to a standing position. Half the exercise today is getting up and down off the ground. All right, we're going to do a double chop. So you're going to bring your hands up to the side and chop it down towards your knee. And again, you can increase the level of difficulty by going a little bit faster. You can hold a dumbbell too if you have one of those and you want to make this a little bit more difficult. We will switch here at 30 seconds to go to the other side. And switch. Excellent. All right, so we are going to do plank shoulder taps next. So we can do that a bunch of different ways. I'm going to grab a chair to show you modification for that. So we're in plank position. You're tapping your shoulder. All right, so this is a modification. If you can't hold a plank for a whole minute, you can do this modification. All right, so you can also do a modification doing a knee plank to make sure you keep that butt in line with your shoulder and your knees. You can do a full plank, tap your shoulders. This really works your core because you have to stabilize that core as you lift that hand up. And if you're struggling with that, just hold that plank position. All right, back to your feet. All right, next we're going to do front kicks. So go ahead and get your arms in front of you. Hold them tight so you get a little workout in your arms. And you're going to snap forward. Snap it forward. Want to get a little more into it? Get a little wider base. Kick it. Bring it back to the middle. Kick it and back. Keep those arms tense. A little work in your upper body. Twenty seconds. Can't kick all the way up. Get a little kick in. It's fine. Work at our balance a little bit on this too. So as we shift our body weight side to side, your balance, those muscles that are helping you with the balance are going to kick in. All right, go ahead and rest. All right, we're back down on the ground. We're going to do bridges next. All right, so hands down to the side. Lift your butt up. Bring it down nice and slow. Tap the ground. Push it up. You want to make this harder, you can do it single leg. Ups the level of difficulty. Really engage those glutes every time you bring your body up. And rest. All right, the last thing that we're going to do is squat jumps. And again, if you're not at the point where you can jump, just go ahead and do the squats. Go ahead and get started. If you can, again, we're just doing a little jump. Just a little jump. So what we're doing there is working the lower body. When you do these, puts increased amount of pressure on your legs, which helps to make those adaptations to make your bones stronger. Number one thing you can do for osteopenia, weight training, right? Body weight training counts as that, but also pushing yourself with some other weights is also good. Let me know if you need help with that. And rest. All right, we got 60-second rest before we start the next round. I know some of you like to keep moving, so I know some of you like to walk around and keep that body moving. If you need to center yourself, take some deep breaths, lower that heart rate a little bit. If you got your heart rate increase, now's a good time to grab some water as well as we transition from round one to round number two. All right, 30 more seconds. I'm just gonna keep moving here. Feel free to do whatever you need to do. You want to keep active for these 45 minutes. All right, 10 seconds. We're going to go back to ape crawl. Don't forget the adaptation for the ape crawl. Let's get into that squat position and go sideways if you can't reach all the way to the ground. But our goal is to be flexible enough that we can get our hands to the ground, move them to the side, pop it over. All right, good job. Like I said, these animal movements that I do, generally one per class, works all those joints. The more you work those joints, the more those joints get lubed up with that interjointal fluid. It's not the correct term for it, but that's what we're going to call it today. All right, we got 10 seconds. And rest. All right, feel my legs warming up. All right, our next one is our inchworms. So I forgot to mention this before, but for inchworms, if you need to modify an inchworm, start here, walk yourself out into a plank position, and then bring it back in. So that's a modification for the inchworm. Otherwise, get your hands on the ground, inch yourself out into a plank position, and then bring it back. You get a little sweaty at this point. Especially if it's hot where you live or you got turned up. Really working those ankle joints, working those wrists. A lot of pressure on your upper body. And rest. All right, we're back up. Up, down, up, down, up, down. All right, we're doing a squat and a reach. All right, if you want to put a little pop in the top, go ahead and do that. Bring it down, all the way up. Or bring it down, pop it up. When you're doing these squats, the biggest mistake that I see people making is when they tip their head forward. All right, I want you to keep your head up, tap the ground, bring it straight up. So keep looking at the camera as you squat down, get that butt back and reach it up. And again, if you need to put a little pop in it, go ahead and do that. But try to make an effort to keep your eyes on the camera as you go down in that squat position and bring it back up. 15 seconds. And rest. All right, excellent. All right, we are on leg extensions next. So we're down to the ground. Put those hands underneath your tailbone. Tip your hips back a little bit. Knees into the chest. Extend it out. And again, if you need it to be easier, just shoot your legs up. Step out. Got this. Nice. Very nice. Back up to our feet. We're going to do a double chop. So hands up to the side, chop it down to your knee. Really try to get that lower body involved. Those glutes involved, get those hammies involved, quads involved. And again, this is another multi-joint movement. I like to think of more of these like real life movement. I mean, you're doing things around the house, you're just not doing this, I mean, sometimes you are, I guess, to drink, but many times you're using more than one joint each time. Switch directions. You want to kick your toe up a little bit each time you swivel. Go ahead and do that. 15 seconds. All right, excellent. All right, next we're going to do plank shoulder taps. So again, if you need the chair to do that, that's fine. If you need to go down in the plank position on your knees, that's fine too. I'll swivel directions this time so you can see it a little bit better. Tap your shoulder. If you keep your head up a little bit, that'll keep your butt down and keep that body aligned. And again, really tighten that core so you don't tip over. If you keep a wiggly core, that's easy to cave in. You need to amp it up. If I can go a little faster. Or go into full plank. And rest. All right, we're back up. We're going to do standing front kicks. Again, we're going to work out our arms a little bit by keeping this isometric position. So try to flex your biceps while you're in that position. So we're trying to keep it strong in case you need to block, just in case somebody's coming at you, you need to block. Keep those arms nice and tight. You can get into a little squat position too. Bring it around, kick it straight out. "25 seconds. Keep those arms nice and tense. And rest. All right, we're on bridges next. So back down to the ground. Put your knees up, hands down to the side. You're going to push into the ground. Bring those hips up. Extend through your thighs. Tighten your butt up. Do the thumb test. Poke your butt to make sure your glutes are engaged. Tap the ground, bring it up. Tap the ground, bring it up. In seconds, you can make it. All right, go ahead and stand up. All right, for our last exercise, we're going to do those jump squats. Again, working that bone mineral density in the bottom. All right, squat it out, give it a little jump. I heard something the other day about, building strong bones. And the analogy that they used is that, you don't take supplements or anything to make your muscles stronger. You work out to do that. Same thing with your bones. I mean, supplements, very marginal increases, maybe negligible, maybe nothing. Maybe those supplements even make it worse. But doing strength training, your bones have to adapt to what you're doing. So you make your muscles stronger, that's going to put more tension on the bones, and they're in turn going to get stronger. All right, we got 1 minute break. Again, you can keep moving. You can work on your deep breathing. You can grab yourself a drink in between sets. Let's go ahead and do that. Whatever you need to do. Some of you like to keep moving on these things. So I'm just going to keep moving on this one. Don't feel like you have to. You can take a little break. We got 25 seconds before the last round. All right. Last round. Doing the ape crawl next. Again, modification. Bring it over like this. Full ape crawl. Put your hands on the ground. Hands over and hop. All right, last round. Give it your all. Good job. 20 seconds. You can do it. You get a little sweaty here too. Woo. And rest. Woo. That's a tough one. All right. But it's in the bag now. So All right, we're doing inchworms next. So again, you can do them off the chair if you need to. I'm gonna make sure that chair is sturdy. It's not gonna go anywhere. Otherwise, get your hands down, walk it up into plank position. Bring it back up. Out. A challenge for you this week is to do some ground to stand movement during the week, which is getting on the ground and getting up. Maybe that gives you an excuse to, look and see what you lost underneath the couch or underneath the bed. Maybe the vacuum underneath there. I think that's probably a good idea for me today. And rest. So give yourself an excuse to get on the ground, do something useful or not, just to work those full body muscles of getting up and down. All right, we're doing squat to a reach. The squat, keep your eyes up to the camera, reach it up. Try to remember one of these exercises today. And as you go through your day, take a minute and do whatever exercise you remember. All right, at random times during the day. All right, 20 seconds. Keep those eyes up. And rest. All right, next we're doing leg extensions. So we're on the ground. Hands underneath your hips. Tilt those hips back a little bit. Extend those legs and bring them in. Easier if you go up. Harder if you go straight out and pause. Don't forget to breathe. Really work on those hip flexors. Keep that core nice and tight. Don't forget to breathe. Seconds, you can make it. All right, go ahead and stand up. All right, we're doing the double hand chops. Reaching all the way up, chop into your knee. All right, ready? And go. Keep in mind, the reason why I told you to, or suggested that you do one of these activities during the day, there is something called active couch potatoes. And an active couch potato is when somebody does a workout at the gym and doesn't do anything the rest of the day. Switch directions. We found that's really not too much more beneficial than not doing anything. So keep that activity up during the day, even if it's just walking around. 10 seconds. And rest. All right, good. Good. We're doing shoulder taps next. So in the plank position, tapping our shoulders. Some people like, step counters on their watch. Some people don't like it. But research has found that if you have a watch, you're held accountable to yourself by a step count on your watch, whatever it is, doesn't matter. People tend to do, 10 to 20% more steps than they would normally during a day than if they don't have something that keeps track of their step count. All right, 10 seconds. All right, back to standing position. All right, so we're doing front kicks. So keep those arms nice and tight. Snap that foot. And again, even if you can snap it lower, that's fine too. Because each time you lift your foot off the ground, you're working balance. Right, 30 seconds. Do it. And rest. Nice. All right, we're on the bridges next. So down on the ground, bend those knees. Remember, we're tightening those glutes. And pushing through our hips when we come up. Good job, keep it up. All right. We got one last exercise left, and that's our jump squats. And again, if you can't do a jump squat, just do a squat. But doing a little tiny jump at the top increases that bone mineral density. And again, remember, why do we do that? Make our muscles stronger. If our muscles are stronger, our bones have to be able to support that pull from the muscles. So in turn, that makes our bones stronger as well. I talked to a friend yesterday that she did some weight training, not some, but over time. And she used to have osteopenia, and she no longer has that diagnosis because she's been working on her strength training. All right, this is it. All right. Okay, go ahead and get yourself a drink. We're going to stretch a little bit. And then we'll call it a day. Work today. And again, only have time for one segment, then do it. You only have time for 5 exercises, do it. You know, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, let's stretch it out. So from here, let's bring the one arm across your body and hold it. Really get a good stretch on that shoulder. Open up the fingers. A lot of times we forget to, stretch out our hands and our fingers. That's important. I'm not sure I've ever heard anybody say to stretch out those fingers, but they have their own little muscles too that need work as well. All right, let's switch sides. Open up those hands nice and wide. And work on your deep breathing as you go. All right, so let's take one hand, bring it straight up, and let's go ahead and lean off to the side. You can, depending on how far you can get down, go ahead and slide that hand down your leg. All right, bring it up. Shoot up that other hand. Stretch it over. All right. Let's go ahead and roll your shoulders back. All right, rolling the other way. All right, from here, let's go ahead and lean over to one side, stretch out the leg. Get down as far as you can. Again, we're just stretching here, so try to increase that range of motion just a little bit each time. All right, bring it up. Let's stretch down the other side. All right, let's bring it back to center. All right, do some toe or calf raises. I'll go to the side. Calf raises and toe raises. A lot of people tend to stick their butt out when they do toe raises. Try to not do that. Try to lift those toes up. You might not be able to stay up that long. If you need to hold on to something, go ahead and do that. All right, let's put our hands on our hips and roll it out. And roll it out the other way. All right, thanks for coming to the show. I appreciate all of you showing up today or whatever day you've chosen to do this routine. All right, Coach Steve signing out.